Hello, I'm State Senator Lou Gentile representing the 30th Senate District. Welcome to Ohio in Focus.
Thanks for joining us for Ohio in Focus, the program that brings state government to you. I'm your host, Mike Rao. Today, we welcome back to the show State Senator Lou Gentile from Steubenville, the senator just elected to serve another term in the Ohio Senate. Senator, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. It's great to be back.
The 30th Senate District, it's getting even bigger for the next General Assembly. Talk about your district a little bit.
The district will be changing. It will encompass 9.5 counties. From Carroll County all along the riverfront all the way down to Vinton County. So it's a large district, but an area I'm very familiar with, having served in the legislature in a large chunk of that district, and also in the Governor's Office of Appalachia, which most of those counties are all in Appalachia, Ohio.
I want to talk about a number of issues. I want to start off, though, with a piece of legislation that you have been talking about and you're really pushing for right now, and that is Senate Bill 367, which is the Veterans Opportunity Act. Tell me what that is exactly.
Well, during a Memorial Day event in my district, I had a grandmother come to me. There was a young veteran who had just returned home. He was in Iraq, and came to me and she said, Senator, please help my grandson find a job. And dawned upon me how important it was to try to help support our veterans and find employment opportunities for them when they return home. And my staff worked closely and with me to research this and put a lot of effort into this and developed a piece of legislation that will recognize the training and skills that many of our military veterans have when they return home. Some are mechanics, some have skills in the medical field, and we want to say to our 4-year and 2-year higher institutions of education that they can go ahead and come up with a way to award academic credit for skills that veterans have already received while overseas. And so this will a lot of institutions are already doing this, but this will really re-emphasize the importance of this and encourage those institutions to work with our veterans to help find them employment opportunities.
I understand part of the legislation also would help the universities kind of formulate policies or procedures to really help veterans kind of reacclimate themselves to going to college. You know, they leave the military, and it can be a little bit of a bumpy transition depending, you know, if they served in Iraq or Afghanistan, to suddenly just show up on a college campus.
You know, we want to have institutions that are veteran friendly and understand what our veterans have gone through and provide sensitivity training to understand what they've dealt with and help make that transition for them. As well, recognizing that, you know, we want to establish a way to award academic credit for either training or skills that they've already acquired. In other words, we don't want to put them through basic courses that they already understand the content and the material. And we think that will help save them money and get them into the workforce more quickly.
And the bottom line, these are oftentimes skills that an employer is looking for.
Absolutely, and contained in the legislation, which I think is very important, is to establish a network and build relationships among the student veterans and alumni who may be out in the workforce operating businesses or working in certain industries, to help provide a link there to get these veterans back to work and give them opportunities and a window where they can make a connection and have a job opportunity.
All right, let's move on to a couple other things. As we're recording this particular interview, the 129th General Assembly is just about wrapped up. Let's talk a little bit about the 2 years that we've gone through. There's been a lot happen. We had a budget cycle. We had Senate Bill 5. We had pension reform passed. What's your overall view of what the last 2 years have been like?
You know, a lot has happened in the last 2 years. I served in the House and Senate during that period. You know, as we look into the future, I think that the economy and recovery and economic recovery still should be our top focus and priority in this General Assembly. But also, this next budget is going to be very critical. We've seen devastating cuts to local governments as well as public education. I'm really concerned about school funding in the long term and how we're going to resolve that issue. I truly believe that our state's ability to come up with a robust economy depends on our ability to educate young people and making college tuition affordable. So the budget is going to be a challenge. I think we need to come up with a budget that makes both education funding and critical local services a priority. And so I hope we can work together in a bipartisan way to develop that. I'm serving on the governor's executive workforce committee, which is talking about this issue of how we develop our workforce. We have natural resources in my district that we need to make sure we're handling that correctly, but also a lot of emphasis is being placed on these veterans and putting them back to work. And this committee is focusing on that, and I think that the legislation I've already developed is a good vehicle and a good start to showing the General Assembly's commitment to our veterans.
You talked about natural resources, and obviously natural gas is a big issue in your district and the exploration of that. One piece of legislation you were able to get added onto a bill was focusing on jobs and making sure that, when those companies are hiring people, that Ohioans get a chance to actually work there.
Yeah, and then the Ohio Workers' First Amendment was really an important amendment into the Senate energy bill. In April, I think we're going to know more and get the detailed report about the real economic impact and jobs that are being created here in Ohio. We welcome the development of these resources in a responsible way, recognizing that many Ohioans in my district are still struggling to make ends meet, and they need a job opportunity. And this industry could provide that. We have well-trained and skilled workers, particularly in the construction trades, that could step into these jobs, that could build the pipelines, that could build the processing plants. And we need to make sure, from a public policy standpoint, that we're doing everything appropriate to encourage that. And that's what I've tried to do in that recent energy bill, and that will continue to be my focus over the next several years in the legislature.
As you look at how things are going in your district and across the state of Ohio, do you think we're seeing signs of the economy getting a little better, jobs picking up, and maybe as we go into the next year that things will be even better?
Well, it's hard to have a crystal ball. Yeah. I do think that we're starting to see things stabilize. I think most importantly is that we instill confidence in both our workforce and those in the business community that we are going to be seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, and that they should be looking at additional investments, and we as policymakers should be finding ways to encourage and incentivize that. So I think it's going to take bipartisan effort as well as collaboration between both the private sector and the public sector to stabilize our economy and improve it over the long run.
Well, we look forward to having you back in the 130th General Assembly to talk about some more issues, and I hope now, since your district has gotten bigger, that you have a good set of tires on your car.
A lot of windshield time.
Yeah, a lot of driving. All right, thanks, Senator. Well, you can keep up with the latest news on Senator Gentile and the Ohio Senate Democratic Caucus on Facebook, Twitter, and at ohiosenate.gov. Thanks for watching Ohio in Focus.